Raycast is a concept of being able to shoot out a ray or a line from a point of origin to see if it actually collides with anything else within that line. In our tutorial, we'll use our Magic Leap device to actually track its head pose and be able to shoot a line from the point of origin and see if it collides with anything else. We'll also be able to use the zero iterator located on the lab in order to test this out on a computer. From there, we'll actually send out our line once it and check to see if it hits something. If it does, we'll spawn a static mesh in the form of a cube and orient its position based on the normals of the surface that we hit. If you are using the Hello Cube example that we created in our first tutorial, or if you're using the Epic Game Store version that we have included in our template project, you will have a material already pre-built for you. Let's go ahead and use the same material here. Under Blueprints, let's go ahead and create a new blueprint. Right-click, select Blueprint class, and select Actor. Let's name this new class BP_Cube. Double-click to open it. Under Add Component, let's go ahead and add a cube. Let's change the scale to 0.2. 0.2, 0.2. Under the materials, we'll go ahead and use that M_cube material. Go ahead and save and compile. Let's go ahead and open up our BPXR pawn. We will go ahead and add the Raycast component in this location here. Under Add Components, type in Raycast. Go ahead and select the Magic Leap Raycast. This acts as a component, so it's not going to be a part of our main area, so it will live in its own area down here. Notice that I cannot parent it or move it to anywhere else. Go ahead and select Event Graph if you are not already there. From here, we're going to go ahead and clear out some space and use the event Begin Play. From here, click on the Execute pin and drag out to an empty space and let go to open up our Executable Actions menu. Type in Set Timer by Event. Let's go ahead and create a new event by typing Add Custom Event. This will be our Request Raycast event. We want this event to be looping, and let's go ahead and add a 0.1. For every 0.1 of a frame, we'll go ahead and fire off this event. From here, we'll go ahead and look for our request Raycast. Over in our Components menu on the left-hand side, let's go ahead and click and drag and get a reference of our Magic Leap Raycast. From here, let's go ahead and type in Request Raycast. Let's go ahead and connect our Request Raycast event to the function. From our request parameters, click and drag to Make. Let's go ahead and create another custom event as well. That will be our ray trace results. So add custom event. We'll name this ray trace results. To break this down already, we're going to create a timer by event. For every 0.1 of a frame, we're going to fire off our custom event. This will create a raycast based on the parameters that we give. Then we'll go ahead and delegate our results to a different event and be able to control events what's happening here. So we're going to base our raycast off of the camera position. So to the left of the Make Raycast Query parameters, right-click in an empty space and type in Get Player Camera Manager. And what we want is get world location, and this will create a bridge here. And then from transform component, we want get forward vector. Our world location will be our origin, and our forward vector will be our direction. So here, this will be the beginning of our raycast point. This will be the direction that we are going to fire that raycast in. Our F vector will stay the same. Our width and height will stay the same. Our horizontal FOV degrees will be set to 1. Now with our parameters set, let's move over to our ray trace results event. From the hit result, let's go ahead and break this apart. Click and drag to an empty space and select Break Magic Leap Raycast Hit Result. Click on the down arrow to see more options. From our hit point, we want this to be our new transformation for our cubes that we will spawn. So, make transformation. Make transform. We will always want our rotation to be what the normal is. So, X. And select rotate from X vector. From our transform, we'll go ahead and select spawn actor from class. And then we will go ahead and connect our ray trace results to our spawn actor none. The class that we will want is going to be our BP cube that we have created. Since we do not want to flood our scene with a bunch of cubes, let's go ahead and set a lifespan time for each object. From return value, click and drag to an empty space and select Set Lifespan. Let's set the value of in lifespan to 2. To follow along with what we did, to break it down one more time, here in our event begin play, as soon as the level starts, we're going to set a timer by event that will loop constantly. This will fire off a custom event that will use the Magic Leap Raycast to create a request. Our parameters are going to be based off of our camera position from its origin of where the camera is in the direction that we are looking. From there, we will feed the results into an event. We'll break it apart and create transformation data from there. This will be the location and the rotation based on the normal of the surface that we hit. For every time we hit an object, we will go ahead and spawn our cube. And we'll set the lifespan to 2. From here, let's go ahead and hit compile and save. Back in our Hello Cube, let's go ahead and play this level in VR or drop down to the VR preview if it's not up there by default. In the lab, under our 0 iteration, you can see that there's now a cube directly in front of me. As I right click and move through the scene, you can see that cubes are now spawning and they despawn as well. You can see that the cube is taking the rotation of the surface that it hits as it snakes its way down and around and up the couch.